Welcome to Uncaged, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Patricia Tiller. How are you, Patricia?
Well, thanks.
It's great to have you on the show. Patricia is the managing partner of Hunton Andrews Kurth, which is a law firm. She's a commercial lawyer. She is the managing partner at Hunton Andrews Kurth in Dubai. Hunton Andrews Kurth LLP serves clients across a broad range of complex transactional, corporate, and regulatory matters. And we'll talk a little bit about what's up in the legal space in Dubai and the Middle East. But before we get there, Patricia, tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
Sure. So I'm obviously Australian, if you didn't pick that up from
Oh, really?
within 2 seconds. So I started my career in Australia working on a combination of energy and mining projects. Australia is obviously resource rich, so that's big business there. I've also worked in Southeast Asia, North America, and then have been in Dubai for the last 12 years. Most of my work has been in the infrastructure sector, almost exclusively advising on energy projects, development and exploration of energy projects, but then also a little bit on general infrastructure projects like building schools, building roads, transportation projects like the Dubai Metro, because the skill set involved in those projects is very similar to an energy development project.
And Patricia, I mean, it's an interesting moment. I mean, I think all eyes right now are actually on the Middle East because of nothing related to energy for the first time. We're all obsessed for football coming to Qatar. But besides that, it also seems to be quite an interesting moment in terms of the energy sector in the Middle East, because there's this kind of explosion of new areas that the economy is growing into. I mean, tell me a little bit what the legal landscape looks like out there.
Of all the places I've worked in the world, this is by far the most interesting, because almost all the projects I've worked on here are first of a kind. Dubai, and then closely followed by Saudi. They don't like to do anything in halves. Everything is the biggest or the best or the most expensive or the fastest. They're well known for that. Dubai has the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. And so consequently, the legal landscape is very challenging, because it's not copy-paste deals that you may have in other markets. Everything has a new twist on it. They're really testing boundaries. And so it's a really interesting place to work. Sophisticated clients from all over the world are here. It's a huge financial sector, huge energy hub. All the major energy companies are here. So it's a really sophisticated client base that enjoys pushing boundaries in terms of what they can do.
That's a really good explanation. And I feel that it's probably one of these things that people don't even think about, that truly there's a lot of new elements that are being added every day there to the economy, to what people are working on. And so the legal process, that's fun, but also probably a little bit stressful at times, but it keeps you on your toes, Patricia, for sure. But I mean, it's been an interesting moment for the history of the world for many, many of us, for many reasons, but for the broader period of time, we've been going through this lovely pandemic, and just be curious to hear how that impacted the way that you and your team work, and perhaps what challenges and opportunities it created.
Dubai, the UAE in general took the pandemic in its stride. I guess there are benefits to living in a country where the majority of the workforce are here by invitation on residence visas. So very, very quickly rules were rolled out that everybody followed, or you got deported.
Right.
There was, there was nobody putting up their hand saying, my individual freedoms are being impeached by wearing a mask, for instance. So it was from day one a very safe environment to work in, because of the nature of the companies that are here. And the understanding those companies have with an expat workforce who is far from home and quite isolated. Companies were very quick to implement flexible working policies that helped keep their employees safe. Most of the companies that are here, Hunton Andrews Kurth included, we already effectively work in a remote environment. Our computers, we work on a VPN. My laptop has access to everything I need, whether I'm in the office or whether I'm at home or whether I'm sitting on a plane, 30,000 feet in the air. So that sort of technology that we already had in place made it very easy to adapt to the constraints of the pandemic. But it really was seamless here. While the rest of the world was locked in apartments and not able to go out, it was pretty much business as usual here, but with precautions.
Oh, lucky you. And that's probably great for the economy and the opportunities that have appeared there. You've kind of outlined, what that legal landscape looks like in Dubai, but are there specific areas that you find yourselves focusing on more, the team focusing on more? I mean, is there a lot of regulatory issues that are being restructured, or is it more kind of transactional in nature? What tends to be the focus?
There's a full spectrum of legal advice that you would find yourself working on here. All of my advice is transactional, so nothing contentious, nothing litigious. Colleagues of mine would do litigation and arbitration, but that's I tell my kids I'm a friendly lawyer, not a courtroom lawyer. But there really is the full range. Regulation. This whole part of the world, the Middle East, is very much in its infancy compared to the Western world, compared to countries like the US and the UK and Australia, which have very well developed legal systems and legislation and statutes to support those legal systems. The Middle East is really only began that journey sort of 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
So, but it is here. I mean, there is a well-developed regulatory system now, but it's only been in place for 10 years, for instance, for the transportation sector, not the last 50 years.
What advice would you provide someone to think about making sure that they get their kind of legal foundation in order if they were to go about setting up a business in Dubai?
I mean, anti-money laundering is probably the first thing that you would need to be mindful of. Dubai, like many other tax-friendly countries, does attract money laundering and improper business activities. So having your KYC documents in order first, so that you can prove who the ultimate beneficial owners of the company are and where the funds are coming from and where they're going to, is very important. And Dubai and the United Arab Emirates in general has been focusing on those sorts of compliance tasks to try and up the ante in terms of monitoring what's going on here in the banking sector. And then I guess the other thing is coming in with a keen sense of who your customer is. There is a bit of a misconception in terms of the Middle East still. I will have clients in the US, for instance, without naming any names, who will ask me what sort of gun I carry to work. I'm not in the middle of a war zone here. It's very much a city like any other, and nobody's running around in military gear. So knowing the environment that you're coming into is also very important.
Yeah, and it does seem like quite an interesting moment. Certainly, Dubai has been an incredible city in terms of its economic growth over the last 20 years. You know, we've seen just accelerated growth forever, but it does seem like the region now is also experiencing almost like a rebuild in some ways of many of the economies expanding outside of the energy sector. Do you find that there are regional opportunities for you guys?
Yes, definitely. So from the Dubai office, we advise throughout the Middle East, even into Europe. I've got several projects in Saudi and Oman and Kuwait, and then in Southern Europe as well. So I mean, the work takes us wherever our expertise is needed. But Dubai really is a great hub in terms of its where it is in the world geographically, and also the time zone that it sits within. It's very, very easy for us to advise Europe, US, Southeast Asia, for instance, from here, or within the Dubai business day.
Yeah, I mean, people always have such positive things to say about Dubai. I have a couple of friends that are over there living there, and they love it. So it seems like it's a wonderful place to work. But I mean, now we find ourselves in another lovely moment with the global economy shifting dramatically every day. Certainly, I would say in places like the States and Western Europe, the news is about inflation and those types of issues. How is that impacting the work that you and the team are doing?
I mean, inflation is a problem here as well as it is everywhere else in the world. Rising costs of living do put more pressure on the average household, even in Dubai. Even when you're not paying taxes. The biggest thing we're seeing at the moment is the energy crisis that's facing the rest of the world, and how that's impacting the Middle East. And Europe in particular is struggling with that at the moment, because they've sort of got a two-pronged issue of energy security and rising cost of electricity for the average household. And the Middle East has a big role to play in sort of helping Europe and other parts of the world in addressing that energy crisis and providing more energy at a rate that's affordable for the average household, whether it's traditional oil and gas or whether it's new forms of renewable energy. The UAE is looking into green hydrogen, and there are various solar projects and nuclear projects on the go. And to the extent that energy can be exported to the rest of the world, that's really where I'm seeing the Middle East.
Oh my God. I mean, it is such a huge topic. I'm headed to Europe tomorrow, actually. And certainly it's one of the things that you hear over and over and over again of how are we going to get through the winter, right? That's the big challenge. And so certainly energy is at the heart of all of those discussions and issues. But now I know who they need to go to. They need to speak to you. So Patricia, if someone wanted to learn more about what you and the team at Hunton Andrews Kurth in Dubai are working on, where's the best place to find you?
Just through our website, huntonak.com, you can find lawyers with all different expertise, and all my details are on that website.
Excellent. Well, it's been great talking with you. We've been speaking with Patricia Tiller. She is the managing partner at Hunton Andrews Kurth in Dubai. They are a law firm that serve clients across a broad range of complex transactional corporate and regulatory matters. We've been talking about the Middle East. We've been talking about Dubai and the expanding opportunities that are there, and the changing legal landscape, and how Patricia has all the answers, hopefully, for all of us. Patricia, thank you so much for being on Cage today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you.
Cheers.